Hi, I'm Bryce. Talking to God is a part of growing in our faith and learning how to follow Christ. When our prayers include requests, our hope is almost always that God will say yes. But what should we do when it feels like God isn't answering? If you've ever asked God for something, and then it seemed like He left you waiting forever, you already know the frustration. That mix of emotions, confusion, or even discouragement is completely normal. It's okay to acknowledge those feelings. One of the most important things to recognize about prayer is that God always hears our prayers and always answers. But there are a few things we need to keep in mind about God's answers: His timing, His will, and our faithfulness. First, let's talk about God's timing. God often works on another timeline from our own, but we can trust in His timing. God's ways are higher than our ways, and sometimes what we think is best for us might not be in line with His perfect plan. God is omniscient, which means He knows everything about everybody, every situation, and what's best for every individual. Proverbs 16:9 says, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." We are free to make our plans and have expectations, and we ought to do so while seeking God's will. It's not just about what we want, but aligning our desires with God's purpose for our lives. Often that time of waiting is an opportunity to patiently reflect on what God might be trying to teach us. When a heartfelt prayer feels unanswered, that doesn't mean you have to give up. In fact, the Bible encourages us to persevere in prayer. Remember, God is hearing your prayers and He is answering, but the answer could be yes, it could be no, or not now. If you feel the answer might be not now, keep praying. Matthew 15:21-28 tells the story about how Jesus did not immediately grant the request of a woman whose daughter was demon-possessed. The mom had asked a few times before He healed the girl. Her persistence allowed her faith to shine. Even though it's hard to wait and even harder to hear no, trust that God is sovereign and He knows what's best for every situation and every person. God works for the good of those who love Him, so He won't guide us in the wrong direction when we pray something other than His will. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We answer questions like this every day, so head over to 412teens.org to ask your own spiritual questions.